Welcome all new subscribers after the Logan Paul hate rants. Don't worry, I'm not gonna disappoint. What you're subscribed for, you're gonna get, okay? So let's talk about some anime. That's why you subscribe. Anime reviews. Thank you. Yes, this is what everyone wants from this channel. You're welcome, everybody. Devilman Crybaby came out on Netflix last weekend. I was pretty gripped by it. I thought the art style was so cool that I had to check it out right away. This sort of glimpse of hope lit up inside me. Oh, is it possible? Netflix actually made something decent in terms of anime? No. No! Felix! Have you already forgotten about Blam, your favorite manga? Blah! What about Death Note? One of your favorite anime, they butchered it.
Don't let this abuse continue.
So I looked up about Devilman Crybaby, if there was reviews about it, just so my hope wouldn't be destroyed completely. And I couldn't find any. I guess it just came out or something like that. But it made me look up where the original came from. And I looked up the original manga, and it's made by a gent called Go Nagai. Now, allegedly, I don't know for sure, but people were saying that he inspired, with Devilman, Kentaro Miura, which is the creator of Berserk, one of the greatest manga of all time. It's not, but you know, it's pretty good. Hidetaka Miyazaki, who created Dark Souls and Bloodborne, and Goichi Suda, which is, of course, creator of legendary game studio Suda51. I thought that was pretty awesome, and I was like, oh, I can't believe I never heard of Devilman. It seemed like a big imprint in Japanese animation nerd culture. So I decided to read the manga first, and it's okay. It's okay. Basically, the Devilman Crybaby story is you have Akira, who is this very typical, he's kind of a loser. He's a crybaby. He doesn't know how to fight, and he then gets to become half demon, half human, or a demon with a human heart, and he becomes Devilman to fight other demons. It sounds extremely basic. It sounds like the plot of Spider-Man. Once you keep reading, you realize it's not. It goes from very cute to very quickly very dark and very adult. Now, apparently the manga was originally a concept for a child-friendly TV show. It also was made into an anime, which has the best English dub of all time. Just watch this.
Stop it! Don't break my sound! If you do, you won't just kill me, you'll kill all these people as well! Think I give a fuck? Think again!
Think I give a fuck? Think again! What I did like about the manga was that it had an ending. Unlike a lot of shonen manga, Naruto, One Piece, they just go on forever. And once you get a hit, you know, you just keep going and going. It's a story, it tells it, and that's it. It doesn't try to do anything else. Although, it's been apparently readapted just a couple times. Just a couple times. We have Devilman Anime, Mazinger Z versus Devilman, Shin Devilman, True Devilman, Devilman, the Demon Bird, Devilman Lady, Toshin Devilman, Devilman Lady again, Neo Devilman, Amon, the dark side of the Devilman, Amon, Apocalypse of the Devilman, New Demon Lord Dante, Devilman Strange Days, Demon Knight, Prequel! And that's not even all of them. It really shouldn't be a surprise, looking at all this, that Netflix bought to do their own remake of this for their platform. But I think the big surprise here is that
It's free real estate.
It's good. It's really good. I think why I really like Devilman Crybaby is because its source material at least sets off to be a typical superhero kind of story. It's really not, and it uses that against you to kind of throw you off and do things that you wouldn't normally expect it. I think with this readaptation of the anime, they really took a lot of risk to do some really crazy stuff, and it really paid off. Starting off with the art style, it's very aesthetic. I love the art style, and it's what drew me in first. Some of my favorite animes are literally just purely based off the art style and the art direction. It's got this very clean, not your typical anime style. It reminded me a little bit of Kaiba, the anime. Mainly in the colors, the kind of yellowish tones. Even Fooly Cooly. Don't hurt me for saying that. It reminded me of a little bit. The animation really works. It's very silly at a lot of times. It's silly when it needs to be, or wants to be, but it's also serious when it wants to be, which is, it's a nice contrast. If you thought the running style in Naruto looked silly, then you haven't seen the running style in Devilman. It's 10 out of 10. It's the best. I run like this all the time. Whenever I'm late, that's how I decide to run, for extra speed and momentum. So you have this really amazing, really interesting art style, but then there's more. You get the soundtrack, which is so damn good. You got pieces with 70s type of, an homage to the 70s, which is when the manga came out, and it really works. Everything just works. But it also has some chillingly good emotional pieces, one after another. There's so many great tracks on this, and I'm definitely gonna buy the soundtrack when it comes out. I really loved it. There's this one song that plays at a certain time. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it was definitely my favorite part of the whole anime. Martha was sitting next to me when I was watching it, and she wasn't really watching, but she noticed that. I remember she saying like, "Oh, that's a really nice song that's playing," and I was just like, yes. Yes, it is. No spoilers, but since I read the manga, there is a character death in the story. I read the manga, so I knew it was coming, but the way they dealt with this, 100 times better than I could ever ask for. It was a truly beautiful moment that really caught me off guard, and that made me just stop to really think, wow, this anime is really incredible. You got incredible art style, you got incredible soundtrack, and you got a great story, and all these three things really tying together so nicely, and that's why I really loved it, and that's why I really love anime. I have all these different elements of art coming together, and it's very nice. It's a very nice, and they really pulled it off here in Devilman Crybaby. In the anime, they tried to give some characters a bit more depth. They added the whole story about running. The characters pass the pole to each other. I don't know what that sport is called in English, but they added that to give the characters more depth, and it worked to a certain extent. I think the characters are a bit shallow in the manga, and they unfortunately still are in the anime. I didn't really care too much about a lot of them, and they could probably wasn't that important. Now, what really annoyed me the most, and probably the biggest flaw of the anime, and why I think I read Polygon calling it a masterpiece. I'll tell you why it's not a masterpiece. Because the last episode really falls flat. I would almost recommend that you don't even watch the last episode of the anime and just read the manga. It has a plot twist, and it's a really good plot twist. But in the anime, they sort of just went, ta-da! Bet you didn't expect this, huh? While in the manga, it's more of understanding it yourself, sort of putting the pieces together and then having this realization, oh, this is what happened. And that's really cool. You think this is just your typical shonen superhero anime or manga, but it's really not, and he uses that against you to deliver this plot twist, which I thought was really cool and really clever. And it also the manga really brings up some interesting themes about what it means to be a human, what it means to be good or evil. If the manga poked these things with a stick, the anime just sort of like glances over it like, okay, we're not gonna go near that. But overall, good job, Netflix. You finally did it. You made something good, and that deserves a round of applause. I'm gonna give Devilman Crybaby a solid... I want to give it an 8, but it's a 7.8. It's a 7.8 strong. Art style, I'm gonna give a 9. Soundtrack, I'm gonna give a 9. I didn't like the intro and the outro that much, and the art style, unfortunately, seemed like they did lose a little bit of budget because a lot of backgrounds are just black. A lot of backgrounds are replaced with this ugly textures. It looks terrible. So I can't give it a 10, even though I want to. And the story, you tried. It was alright. What did you think about Devilman Crybaby? Let me know in the comments. I'm just happy. I think the reason why I really like it is because it had that one moment that I talked about, and that just sort of redeemed every bad thing for the anime, to be honest. I think that's how I look a lot of times on anime. If there's this one bit that really struck a chord with you, that really resonated with you, or left an emotional impact, that's how I pick my favorite animes. If they have that one moment where I go, holy shit, that was amazing. And Devilman Crybaby had that for me. So I'm very grateful for that, and I'm very grateful for everyone working on it, and I'm talking too long, so goodbye. Remember to leave a like. We're almost at 60 million subscribers. Subscribe for more anime reviews, everybody, and I'll see you next Wednesday for another Logan Paul video every Wednesday now. Squad Fam out.